My name is Austin, and this is Dungeons and Dracon Beams, Megamorphs 3. Savannah. A cool breeze hits your face as you lay in this soft grass in the middle of this jungle. There's a girl. As you're regaining your focus, you feel a small prick in your big toe. Take 1 point of damage.
No.
Please. As you look, you see a little bit of blood runs down your foot. The longer grass rustles in front of you. Clearly rustles as something just ran into it. The massive trees around you are familiar. You've never seen any angiosperm trees this big your whole life. And then you see a plant that's unfamiliar to most people. And although you've never seen these in real life either, you know exactly what they are. Because most people don't have parents like you do, so they wouldn't know. But it's thick trunk and branches that seem to curve down, ending in big bushels of leaves. This is an Eukaryoxylon arizonicum. It's a big tree that you know, and it's right in front of you. But what you also know about this plant is that it's extinct, and it went extinct 65 million years ago.
The rustling in the bushes, is that still persistent, or does it sound like the creature has moved away?
Roll me a perception check. As far as pinpointing the exact creature or whatever you saw, you can't do that, but you do hear rustling coming from all around you. There's like patches of bushes and like brush that grows around these trees, and this is just like a thick jungle. You hear like scurrying in each one of these bushes kind of around you.
What do I hear as far as... I hear scurrying, but do I hear like squeaking or like animal noise or like what else?
Immediately around you, you don't hear any of like noises from them, but 20 feet away, you hear chirps almost, like little quick chirps.
Okay, so I see this tree. I hear chirps far away. I hear a lot of rustling in the bushes immediately around me. I seem to be surrounded by bushes and on grass.
Yeah, and within there's a tree canopy above you. Saying that, as you like look up into this tree canopy, you can see that it's day outside, where it was like starting to sunset where you were. It's bright day now. Even seeing through the canopy, you get peaks of the sun. It is massive, and it is glowing a deep orange, orangish red.
No, I don't like that stage of fucking sun's blowing up. So it's hot.
Give me a science check, so it'll be just intelligence.
Give me a what is my body field check.
You recall a piece of information. The sun is huge, and it's more humid. It's not hotter. It's not like the dry heat isn't hotter. Every now and then you'll feel a cool breeze. You think back, and at first you're like, the sun is bigger, it should be hotter. But you remember a fact somewhere, and I think probably your dad, as he was teaching you some things about the past and how orbit works. The closer you are to the sun doesn't necessarily increase the heat of the planet. It has to do with like the ozone and how the tilt is, basically where the light is hitting it. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't seem any hotter than you would than it normally does.
Then I would expect the ambient temperature to be at this stage of Earth.
I'm just saying, without time being a factor in this, just you looking up at the sun, seeing that it's bigger, at first your mind is like, should it be warmer? And then you remember the fact that no, it depends on the tilt of
If it is warmer, it doesn't have to do with the sun. Yeah, no, I got that. Yep. But it is still probably warmer.
It's either the same temperature and sometimes a little cooler.
Okay. Weird.
I mean, it feels more like fall than it would summer.
Okay. Can I see whatever got my foot? I guess more what I'm asking is there like a spike still embedded in my foot? Is there an obvious thing?
You look at your foot a little bit more. You see like something bit you, like little bitty teeth marks.
Oh.
You say, "Oh," but there's like blood running down your foot.
Yeah, but they're just little bitty teeth marks. Oh. No, I don't think she would say "aw," but I don't think she would be that upset. Okay, bitty teeth marks. This tree seems climbable.
Yeah, you could probably climb it.
I would like to try and climb this tree to get a better vantage point. Quietly, though. Quietly.
So give me a stealth check first. Creep up to the tree.
I'm not trying to sneak up on the tree, Austin. I'm just trying to do this quietly.
Yeah, that's why you creep it.
That tree will not see me coming.
The tree doesn't see you. You're confident this tree doesn't see you.
I'm so confident the tree doesn't see me.
And as you pounce on it, give me an athletics check.
It reaches its arm down and swipes you open and it says... Okay, sorry, athletics. That's what you wanted. I'm here. I'm paying attention.
This tree trunk is massively thick and the branches kind of hang down and like droop. You can't get like a good grip on the trunk to climb up it, so you move to one of the branches and you manage to like shimmy your way up that, and you're kind of hanging there 10 feet up.
Can I see anything more from there, like over the top of the bushes, a distance away? Like, do I get any other information from this vantage point, or should I keep going?
Yeah, go ahead and give me a perception check.
I almost rolled performance.
Yeah, fuck you. I'm performing. What? I'm hanging from this fucking branch.
I'm singing Kesha from this tree, and all the fucking information's coming to me.
I'm doing the gymnastics bars, like the Sarah from Jurassic World 2, Jurassic Park 2. Oh man,
dude, that's such a good pull. She fucking did though. She fucking double kicked that raptor right in the head.
Kicked his fucking ass. I didn't know you could do that.
Kicked his ass. I thought Jurassic World 2 was very fun, but I'm sorry. A perception check has occurred.
As you're like hanging here, you like look down and around, and like these kind of bushes areas that are surrounding this tree where you're at, you see reptilian heads with these little mouths agape looking up at you, all their eyes just kind of staring at you, sharp little teeth, and they're just kind of watching you now as you're swinging. They didn't notice you go up to the tree at first, and then as you started climbing, they all started to just turn their heads and look. Give me a history check with advantage because of who your father is.
My father will be hearing about this.
The sins of your fathers. Oh shit. What?
It's with advantage.
I know,
calm down.
But still.
God.
I mean.
Listen, we only have, it doesn't matter who my father is, which I don't know if the audience knows. I assume so. But like, we only have certain aspects of these creatures to make assumptions on. There's a lot of room for play here. Yeah.
I'm going to say you make some assumptions and then throw them out of your head because there's no way.
Ridiculous.
These little heads look up at you. Little sharp teeth line this lizard-like head that's kind of elongated more than a regular lizard. The snout sticks out a little bit further. Their bodies go into these bipedal bodies. They are on two legs. You can kind of see as they like move around as they look at you. They're have these little talons, small, they look like almost like chicken talons as they scurry around, long tails that kind of shoot out for the back that keep balance, and they have these little tiny arms that stick out from like their upper torso with feathers that kind of flail off of them. You also notice like going down their back there's like a frill of feathers as well. small, not even 2 feet high. Their full bodies, including the tail, might stretch to 3 feet.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're exactly right. She's going to make an immediate jump in her head and then be like, no. And then keep climbing. I think that it's that sort of creeping, like, there's no way this can be that. But I have this very, very mammalian instinct buried in my body that height equals safety. So I am going to keep going up, though.
All right, give me an athletics check.
Hang on. Let's see if I can fix that.
I'll tell you right now, that wave of wisdom ain't going to help you if that's what you're looking for.
No, I know, because that's only on wisdom checks. But I feel like there's something that I have that can, like, boost it.
You do have inspiration that I gave you during a conversation, so remember that.
I do, and fuck it, let's use this inspiration because this is going poorly for me. Hang on. How much does this matter in the long run, do I think? Because I will get another nat 1 during this session.
Good thing to think of. Good way to plan ahead, because who knows if you'll get another inspiration. You might want to save it.
Yeah, I want to save it. I'll take the pain. Thank you.
So you're hanging about 10 feet up and you go to pull yourself the rest of the way up and simply slip, fall to the ground, boom, hit your back. Knocks the wind out of you, doesn't cause any damage, but then you hear the chirps. You hear the rustling, and then 4 of these things shoot out at you. We're going to roll some initiative.
I want you to know Savannah's first instinct is completely correct on what this was.
One of these little winged creatures with sharp teeth moves out of the bush and jumps towards you, lands on you, and tries to bite you, Savannah, for a 2.
Let me check. Hang on.
Yeah. Like, take your time.
You know what? Let me scroll just to make sure I don't have anything that would really, no, it's an 11, so no.
Hey, how do you stop this one?
Can I pick it up? Can I, like, it jumps at me? Can I just, is it like a chicken?
Yeah, and you got it, and it's trying to bite at your face, and another one comes up from behind you. And since it's flanking and your attention is taken away as this other one's on you, it's going to take it with advantage. Bite at you with advantage. Its sharp teeth dig right into the back of your neck, and it sinks in deep, and
I'm paralyzed for life.
It severs your spine. No, it feels worse than a chicken bite, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's got teeth.
It got teeth. You take 2 piercing damage. You're up.
This is all a lot for me right now, and there's a few things I want to do. I don't think she knows what's going on. She's assuming this is like something in modern era that is really, really close to something that she's very familiar with. And she's like, I don't know what kind of alien this is. I don't know what kind of freaking space things are happening right now to make this happen. But like, I could at least record this and then I have something. So she's gonna start recording. But I think at the same time, knowing what these, like, taking a quick assessment of like, these guys are this big. They have little teeth. They're attacking. But that's because they don't know what I am. So the thing to do is to get big and scary. So I think she wants to, like, she's grabbed this one that jumped at her, which was almost like a reaction, like from, you know, that's if someone jumps at you at the zoo or whatever, when you're in the petting zoo, like, oh, okay, got it. But like the rest of them, I think she wants to start getting like big. And I don't mean like in a magical way. I mean, like, she's like, there's a cougar coming at me. You stand up, look at them, and you're like, hey, get out of here.
Okay. Perfect. It's be your action to start recording. You have to hold it until the beginning of your next turn. And give me an intimidation check as you get big. You can use your strength or your charisma for this.
You know, fuck it. Maybe, but there's no way I'll ever know.
So I think with a 5, as you like stand up and make yourself really big, these 2 other ones, they pause for just a second, but then just keep moving in towards you. We'll call that your action and bonus. You can move if you want.
Ooh, yes, but I may be more flavor than anything else. I think she wants to start to back up from them so that she is no longer being like flanking. Are they flanking? I guess they are, right? So she's going to take opportunity attack.
Yes, they are flanking. And as you move back, you can still hold on to this one because on its turn, it'll move towards you anyway. You do not take opportunity attacks. You haven't moved out of anything's threatened area.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's more that she wants to like make sure that if they're trying to move behind her, she's keeping them towards the front.
Yeah, trying to back up towards the tree or...
Right, and she's not running like 60 feet. Like
Yeah.
she's like just slowly backing up, holding this thing, just trying to get the lay of it.
As you like kind of back up, the other two do follow you essentially, and they're both going to bite at you without advantage because they're doing it separate, basically, not flanking. So first one, a 16, and the second one is a 5.
Nope, just the one.
So you manage to dart out of the way of one, but the other one bites you in your calf. You take 1 damage. And then top of the round is the one that's in your hand. It's going to try to bite you. Oh, make a real quick concentration check because one of these bit you. You have to beat a 10.
Okay.
You maintain your concentration on recording. This one that you're holding is going to try to bite you for a 19, which is 1 more damage and another concentration check. Hell yeah, you're focused, fully focused. And then the last one is going to come up, try to bite at you too for a 15 to hit.
Yeah, I do. 1
more in a concentration check. It's back to the beginning of your turn. You have fully acquired this creature.
I've fully acquired this creature. My intimidation check did not go super well last time. I think it may have been because I was holding the one and I wasn't like fully doing it. I think she wants to try that again. Like that's going to be her maneuver, is just to get big and just like look more intimidating. Again, like not in a morphing kind of way, just in a very like realistic, this is how you deal with animals who are coming at you kind of a way.
Hell yeah. Because of that reasoning, you can do intimidate or you can do animal handling.
Ooh, I would love to do animal handling, please. Pretty please?
Yep.
Can I please? Okay, then I'm going to do that.
If you get advantage on it for anything, it's going to be canceled out by disadvantage because of what these creatures are.
Well, that's rude, but I'll accept it, and you can look now.
27? Tell me what it looks like as these things scattered.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very much like she was holding the one, that's why like getting big didn't work so much. But once she like drops this thing to the ground, she's going to step forward at them and like literally it's like hands up over head level, like looking, just making herself bigger and approaching them like with quick predator movements. And then that kind of is like, you know, I think they get a little bit on their heels and then they just turn and off into the bushes in different directions.
Not having that ambush anymore, they're gone. And it's not silent because there's still stuff going on all around you. Give me another history check with advantage this time.
Cool. Can I think this is answered already, but can I ask like a weird flavored detail just to see if Savannah would notice during this history check?
Mm-hmm.
How much like dead wood is there around here? Like how much bark and tree detritus is like layering around here?
Give me that the history check and then give me a survival check.
Ooh, survival is one of those ones that I always boost thinking I'm going to use it on every game, and this is I think the first time I've rolled it ever.
And then a 6.
I didn't say it went well for me, I just said this is my first time.
With that history check, as you like have interacted with these creatures now, yes, they remind you of compies through and through. Even how they attacked matches what you know that they would attack like, and
they hunt like a flock of birds.
Yeah. You can come up with your own reasons why they are what they are, but you think they're compies now. You look around and you do see fallen trees, detritus and stuff like that. But I'll say with that, as you look at them, they just look like fallen branches. You can't make any patterns or discern anything more from it.
Solid. Yeah. Okay. Another just quick like environmental question. How thick is the brush around? Like how imposing is the foliage in the area that I'm in now that I'm not actively paying attention to these compies?
Right where you are at the moment, it doesn't seem to hinder you moving around too much, but you can see that this is the exception to the ground floor of this jungle. The brush is thick, at least on the ground layer. There's a lot of bushes, especially the closer you get to some of the tree trunks, there's more. It's difficult terrain moving through those. Immediately around what you see, until you get to like thick, big bushes, you could walk through this part, but there's some areas that you could find that would be tougher to get through.
Again, so Savannah's mindset right now, as she's thinking this through, like, she's like thinking to herself, like, those really look like Compsognathus. Like, that's... I don't know what to call those other than that, and I don't know like what is happening, but this must be alien nonsense again. These trees are extinct though. Surely this must be Earth. Surely we are still on Earth. Where is difficult? What is... I think she's just running through these like sort of checklist in her mind of like, how do I figure out where I am? And so she's going to start looking for anything she would know about like northwest, east, south. Does the moss grow on the north side of the tree, which is already a thing she knows is very, very flawed because moss can grow every direction of the tree, but maybe there's like an indication of it growing more on one side, so she knows the light comes from this way and maybe that can be a direction to head. Or like, can she hear running water anywhere?
First, roll me a perception check.
Man, you really like rolling these dice. Perception, then survival again.
Hell yeah, you do get advantage on your survival because as you like listen and strain, you hear running water. And then with your survival check, you have a pretty good idea of which way north is.
I think it's important to her to know which way is cardinal north. Then can I keep myself oriented if I'm going to find something?
Okay. Yeah, I'll say with that, you kind of look up again, see that big orangish sun peeking through and keeping it on one side of you, and then you hear the water on another side. You can kind of get your bearings to head a way that you want.
Cool. Yeah, she's going to head towards that running water, keeping those sorts of things in mind to make sure she's not just like looping.
I'll say you do have to go through some of the thicker brush to get there. This brush has thorns, it has sticks, sharp rocks. Every now and then you like trip up a little bit and have to like rip and pull vines and push them out of the way to get through. You think if you had to do this for like a long period of time, it would start to take a toll on you. But you make it through, and eventually you find a running river. You see it in the distance about 60-ish feet away from you.
She's going to pause as soon as the river is within sight, like assuming like she's broken like the tree line is when it comes into sight. As soon as that happens, she's going to stick right on the cusp of that tree line. And now that we're at a water source, she's going to just take that moment to look around and do like a specific, like, I'm looking for anything that goes to water, any big thing or little thing, anything that goes to water. We're at water. We're at a spot that should be ecologically is like the truce point, but
give me a perception check with advantage.
16.
You watch this river and kind of look up and down it. At first you don't see anything. Then you see a couple of those compy looking animals, like 6 of them go to the river, take a drink, kind of look around, and then scatter off in one direction. A couple of seconds later, you hear deep splashes, like, and hard thuds as like this water splashes up, and you see a figure kind of come from behind like this outcropping of rocks that lines part of this river. It walks on 4 legs, massive, bigger than a van, bigger than the jelly bean, if you remember back, hulking about that size. It's got plates on its back that look a little bit sturdier, like it would be harder to get through. They look leathery, and they line it all the way from its head down to its back. It has these spikes kind of shooting out in a pattern, but like different directions that row these plates going down its body. Its head is a little bit elongated, but stubbier than the lizard heads you saw on those compy looking animals. And it ends in unmistakably a sharp beak, and it has 2 horns coming off the top that jut back, and then 2 that come from the side of its face that jut back. But the most impressive thing that stands out on this creature is this tail that stretches out about 10 feet and ends in this hulking ball of chitin, of something. It looks hard as this figure moves through the water and swings the tail back and forth. You see it hit a tree and just knock this small tree's top part off as this big ball hits it. This is unmistakable to you. It's an Ankylosaurus.
Okay. I legit think that Savannah just like sees this and then like just literally has like that very similar reaction of like she's just like, okay, all right. Is the Ankylosaurus moving towards her?
It's moving down like along the river, like it's walking down the river essentially towards where the compies were, and they fled off in the other direction.
Like how far-ish?
From the tree line to the river, 45 feet is how far it is.
Oh, so it's close. She wants to kind of move parallel to it, still keeping to that like crepuscular edge of the trees, moving through the brush. I don't know that she's particularly trying to be like, she's trying not to be seen by the creature, but like there's so much noise, there's so much brush and movement through things. I think she's just kind of more focused on this thing and trying to see if she's immediately making a play for, is there any tack I can get in and touch this thing? That's got a lot of armor, that's got a lot of power. I kind of want that here. Like if this is going the direction I think this is about to go, I want that.
It's right there. There's nothing standing in your way from just running up and trying to touch it.
No.
I'm just saying.
No, there's a lot. There's a big tail. There's armor plates.
Yeah,
there's a big
those.
tail. This was built for defense. Like I might walk up to it, but like I'm approaching a prey animal. I'm not walking like the same way she used that predator to push the Compsognathus. She is using I'm walking parallel to you. I am not approaching you. I'm not moving quickly. I'm moving slowly, and I'm moving like with ease and confidence, and all of my body language is giving I'm approaching you very chill, and you've got nothing to be afraid of, and I'm not afraid of you also.
Okay, I'm gonna say, yeah, you can do this with animal handling as you try to get closer. Nice.
I'm telling you, it's the one thing I can kind of do sometimes.
Tell me, before you touch it, tell me how close you get to it. And you can describe everything up to that.
Okay, so I'll tell you exactly what she wants to do with this thing. She wants to literally like just approach it super easily. She wants to catch up at its shoulder, like its front shoulder is what she's looking for. Basically, this thing can spin, but I'm at the pivot point of where if it's bringing that tail around, I can crouch into it, I can lean into it, and I can move with this creature, so it's not going to absolutely destroy me. So that's what she's doing. She's literally just tacking in, she's walking next to it, and she's cutting over exactly like you would if you were just like trying to approach without looking to that animal's perception like you're approaching, and trying to wind up walking with it same speed at its shoulder.
You do this. Since you're not being stealthy or anything, it notices you. You see it like look over and see you with one of its eyes. As you get to its shoulder, you notice on the other side of it, a smaller version of it walk around, and it like looks at you and stops and kind of turns defensively, starting to like square off with you a little bit, just standing in between you and its young. And you also notice that as it does this, there's another one behind the first little baby. There's a second one walking behind it, just a little bit smaller.
I think squaring up to fight, depending on how close she is, this is where that like I can move close enough to the pivot point of this animal that I can stay with them. She has no idea if the trance is going to work, but that's always worked for her in the past, so that's going to be her go-to move in this scenario, is she's going to be like, okay, now we've entered very dangerous territory. Let's see if we can chill this situation out so I can get the hell out of here.
So you touch it?
She's going to try to touch it.
You feel this tingle in your fingers as you start to record the DNA of this Ankylosaurus. But it keeps moving. It keeps turning.
Okay. It's been real.
It's been real. Because of your animal handling check, it doesn't feel as threatened as it would as if you just ran up. So what it's gonna do is start to move away from you. You're keeping your hand on it as it moves away?
And I'm keeping my hand on this animal for sure. Have I observed enough of how its young move with it to replicate the point of movement that its young travel in when it's traveling in? Basically what I'm doing is like I'm making a play of like, we're looking at animals that aren't artists. So theoretically, instead of sort of an intelligence or recognition, it's going to react a lot more to the sort of like if the babies travel in dorsal position, let's say like an orca or something like that. Maybe there's something I can do to help calm it down by keeping my, like if I drop back a hair or if I do that, like have I seen enough where I can kind of take advantage of the situation? But yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to keep my hand on it.
Because you've only been observing this for less than a minute, you have your general knowledge of like how these kind of animals work.
Right.
As it sees you and you touch it and it's still trying to move in the defensive position, I'll say you move like you saw its young moving, just trying to mimic that, and that'll let you try to keep your hand on it. So opposed athletics or acrobatics, just to see if you can keep your hand on it.
Okay, but can we do acrobatics though, maybe?
You can. It's gonna do athletics.
Why?
Because it's strong.
Yeah, I know. That's why I don't think it should, because it's not using its strength against me. It's trying to move away from me. It's trying to do a sick flip.
Athletics can also be being fast, so it's kind of trying to fastly move away.
And it's not.
All right, we'll say then this is what it does. As your hand's on it, it lowers its head and tries to push you away from it. And you're trying to dodge out of the way of it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Makes
that's
more
fair.
sense now.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
And you got to beat a 14.
Yeah, sure can.
So it does like push your hand away and you kind of move back 5 feet as it backs up and it's just looking at you. It's your turn. You did not have your hand on it long enough to record
But
it.
it's just looking at me right now. It's not. Don't move. Just stay down. No, that's not what we're doing here. No, she's legitimately just trying to be like, okay, like it pushed me down. It's neutralized the threat. If I just stay still, will it move on?
Roll a perception check as you sit here for a second.
Oh, good. Great. Love a perception check.
As this thing is just staring at you, it will blow out some air every now and then. It looks like it's about to like leave you be because it's like taking a few steps back. Then you notice behind it, peeking out from a tree, is a triangular head with 2 stalk eyes shooting out from the top of it. No mouth, 3 slits in its nose, and big round green eyes as Aximili focuses in, furrows his brow. I am coming, Prince Savannah. And he starts to move forward towards this Ankylosaurus, his tail blade cocked back. Dylan. Dylan, you feel the open air blow across your face for just a moment as you see the fractals of space-time above you close and let out this shockwave of force that shoots you down further. And you feel weightlessness for just a second until you feel the icy splash of water as you splash into the ocean. You're confused, you're off balance, you sink deeper and deeper. The chills of this water hitting you helps you regain your mind, and your limbs start to flail, your human limbs.
I would like to open my eyes and try to look around me to see if I can see a source of light.
You do see the source of light. A deep orange glow shines through the surface of the water down towards you. As your eyes begin to adjust, you do notice what looks to be trees that are kind of growing underwater, and some of them like break the surface of the water and grow out of it. About 50 to 60 feet down, it's hard to tell, like as you're in here and just gaining your bearings, is the ocean floor. It's sloping up. You look off in the way it slopes up and you do see the shore. It's about a football field away from you, so about 100 yards. There's also all kinds of other plant life growing on the surface floor. You see like some rocks, and every now and then you'll see some kind of movement down there, but not enough to make out anything in particular. But one thing you do notice is that not too far off from you, you see an Andalite swimming. Matea seems to be swimming towards the shore, and she's about halfway the distance between you and the shore. And with that good of a perception check, you also notice another figure, deeper, swimming their way towards the surface as fast as they can. Kamren. He's kicking hard and swimming with all his might. He's further out to sea than you and a little deeper, but you also see his body starting to change as he swims.
Matea looks like she's getting to shore for sure.
Mm-hmm. And she's swimming, and Andalites seem to be able to swim pretty decently.
Okay, then I'm gonna try and swim up to the surface, up toward the light, and see what's around.
Yeah, roll me an athletics check.
Okay.
It's tough because like you're confused and you didn't get a chance to catch your breath, so your lungs are starting to burn as you push your way up. You're about 10 feet from the surface. Go ahead and roll me another perception check.
Okay.
Yeah, so you 10 feet from the surface, you look back, check on everybody. Everything seems fine. You swim up, break the surface for just a second, and then a wave crashes, so you're back under. And you take in the surroundings again. Kamren seems to be, his legs seem to like meld together into a tail, and he starts to sink a little bit, and his progress stops. As that wave kind of dissipates, you break the surface again, and you're back up, kind of treading water. The first thing that you notice is the sun. It's huge, bigger than you remember it ever being, and it is a deep orange, reddish, and the sides of it kind of flare further out than you've ever seen it do. You also notice another source of light to the right of the sun. Can't make out anything other than it's just another source of light. And that's what you get like immediately as you like break the surface. You do see the shore and like the land mass, and then there's like a beach and then a tree line, and it's hard to make out anything else from the water.
Okay. Well, since when I first went up, I just seemed to be getting pounded by waves. I want to make this a little bit easier on myself. The only thing that I have is Orca, so I think I'm going to go Orca.
Yeah, you start to concentrate, and you feel the changes start to happen. As you sink back below the waves, as you start this morph, you notice another figure. It's even deeper than Kamren, and it seems to be swimming their way up from the surface. It's just a shadow, and then as it emerges into the light, you start to make out the details. A long snout, similar to an alligator's, only much, much bigger, leads the way of this scaly reptilian body that's gotta be around 45 to 50 feet long. 2 fins on each side of its body are stretched out in the front and in the back, keeping it balanced somewhat straight as it swims quickly through the water. The long, powerful tail moves back and forth, pushing it forward. Kamren looks back to see this just as he's about to break the surface for air. His bottom half completely black, rubbery tail now, but his human head still breaks the water. He immediately, after catching his breath, dunks back under and watches this thing swim towards him.
How far in my morph am I?
Roll a concentration check as you're like consciously trying to speed this up.
Okay.
All right, yeah, so you're 12 seconds in and floating there, still, body still changing.
Cool. What about like the mouth situation? How we doing on that? What'd that mouth do?
It's getting rubbery and extending out.
Cool. So you'd say that I don't really have the ability to speak like a human right now, right?
You can make some sounds, but your tongue is just now starting to change, so maybe, but you are underwater too.
But I can thought speak.
We'll say this, high or low?
Hi.
You cannot thought speak yet.
Oh no. Okay. Well, I'm gonna start moving my misshapen body toward Kamren.
Move towards Kamren, and he notices you as you're moving and sees you changing, and as more of his body starts to change, he knows what you're doing. You're coming to help him because you see this thing. He sees it too. Your all's eyes meet just as his start to change, and you see a look in him that he's not letting you go down with him. He turns his body and starts to swim away from you. You seeing this kicks your morphin, and it starts to speed up. You're now 30 seconds into the morph.
Sweet. I think it, Kamren. You idiot, get back here.
Just go, Dylan. I don't know what this big whale's gonna do, but it's not gonna be fun. And I'm fully morphed now.
Yeah, it's gonna eat us, you dummy. Get here. Let's get to the land.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Sweet.
If you haven't
Sweet,
figured
sweet.
it out, you're in like a mini skills challenge right now.
Yeah. Okay.
You're not going down with me, Dylan. He continues to swim away.
Then I'll go down alone.
What is going on? It was Matea.
Kamren's being an idiot.
Stop being an idiot. Solemnly. Just go.
Sorry, bud. Can't do it. I continue my little floppy swim toward this giant thing.
If you're trying to kind of catch up to him, you can do an athletics check. You can also try to speed up your morph again.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and speed up my morph.
Yes, it does.
Okay, sweet.
Arms turn to fins now.
Nice.
But yeah, as you try to speed up, you can roll athletics. I'll let you do it as the orca because your tail is fully formed now.
Oh, love that. I love that. Let's see. Let's do it. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. You power through, and you're probably 20 feet behind this creature. By the way, roll me a history check with disadvantage because you're in the middle of a fight.
How dare you? You're gonna give it. Never mind. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, a big fucking whale or something.
This crazy big thing with all the teeth.
So you're about 10 feet behind the Mosasaurus's tail now, and you see it's gaining on Kamren. It's pretty much in attack range for it. Top of your turn.
Okay. Yeah, I wanna get that morph totally done.
All right, roll that up.
Kamren. Your
dorsal fin is just now starting to grow, and it's the only thing that's not done yet. So
cool. I'm thinking at him. What are you gonna do if you get me killed and you live? What are you gonna do then?
Good point. Now what do we do? And he like starts to swim in a circle.
You idiot!
Well, you're big now too. I guess you could help.
Hey, you remember when we put that that little rope treat on Possum's tail, and he couldn't get it?
Yeah.
Chase his tail.
All right. Turns and swims like more towards you now as he goes towards this thing's tail, and you see it start to turn and move towards it. This thing is going to be able to make it and try to take a bite as Kamren moves away from it. A 21 will hit. 4. Holy shit. It bites off the end of Kamren's tail as it chomps down and deals 32 piercing damage. Luckily, Kamren's big enough that it can't be swallowed. And that will bring us to the top of the round for Dylan's turn.
Okay, how close to me is Kamren now?
As he turned and was like coming back towards you, as this thing bites him, he lets out a ah, and like he spins, and like your all's eyes are looking at each other, probably 10 feet away.
Okay, I want to speed forward and try and push Kamren like under this thing.
You swim forward, smash into Kamren, and he spins down further as this thing just shoots over you both.
I'm trying to wait until it's like far enough away that I can grab Kamren by the bitten off tail part and just tow him with me.
It's big, so it takes it a little while to turn around. It gets about 30 feet away before it turns and is like looking back at you all.
I'm definitely grabbing him as soon as it's away and just like.
You power forward, pulling Kamren. It's tough pulling him with you, but you manage to get full movement speed.
That's 60.
It does power after you, and it seems because it's bigger, it's a little bit slower. It does double move to like swim right beside you, but it seems to be straining to keep up with you. Kamren will kind of position himself aerodynamically to try to help you swim with him better because he knows he's messed around right now. You'll have advantage on your next check.
Sweet. I love that.
Back to you.
I want to double move and get as like I'm headed for the beach. I'm gonna beach us. I want to pop up and flat land us on the beach.
So you are gonna be able to shoot as fast as you can and get to like the shore where it starts to rise and you can break the surface, but it will chomp as you a 14.
Yeah.
It opens its mouth as it swims and you're starting to pull away, and it sees the injured orca that's in that you're pulling with it, and it changes its trajectory and tries to bite him, which it does. It just takes another big chunk out of Kamren and he lets out a in your head, but you manage to pull him and get him to the surface, and the waves are like crashing on you all as you're like thumping your body and pulling him up onto shore. This thing swims forward as far as it can, and you see its tail is like brushes and kicks water spray up onto you. But knowing that it's beat, it turns and swims back into the deep.
Morph before this thing comes back, you dummy.
He does start the morph. What was that?
A swimming dino, whale, something. I don't know. What? We don't have those. Where are we?
We're in fucking Loch Ness.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Gotta be. How'd the Yeerks get us here?
I want to try and like look around as I'm morphing to see my surroundings.
You see a dripping wet Matea starting to gallop towards you guys down the beach. You look up and you see like there's the beach, and then there's like a little bit of grass and then a tree line. The trees though, they're huge, massive, sticking up from the ground. Some of them have like branches that wilt down and have these like bushels on the end of the branches. Roll me a history check real quick. So Dylan, you're starting to identify some of these trees, and you think like these are trees that are from like the late Cretaceous period. Some of them are supposed to be extinct. The angiosperm, which is the grass, this is when it started to flourish in the late Cretaceous period. It starts to take over the whole land, and greenery starts to fill 83% of the land on Earth during this time period. But that would have to mean that you are during that time, and that cannot be, this is Yeerk trickery.
Yeah.
At first, like just taking everything in, it all seems just like a beach, like you're at a beach in a jungle with stuff that's not supposed to be here. You don't see any creatures at this time.
All right, as I'm morphing, I'm going to think to Matea, hey, can you keep an eye out and let us know if that thing starts coming back? And Kamren, we're so not in Scotland right now.
No, not Scotland. Loch Ness.
Where do you think Loch Ness is?
Like Erie, Michigan or something.
Boy. Hold on. Wait, no, hold on. You think that Lake Erie... No, okay, yeah. No, yeah.
Yes, I will keep an eye out. Something very strange is going on with me. I do not know what time of the day it is. I do not know where we are in space. My mind is jumbled at the moment.
Yeah, that's super not good. Can you tell time? Like, do you...
I am struggling to keep the current seconds in order as I can normally do. I think with time I could be able to do that again. Just at the moment, it's hard to concentrate.
Got it. So we're guesstimating morph time. Crap. Has anybody seen anything from the others?
I just woke up. His mouth finishes morphing, and he says, that flash hit and I was underwater. That's the last thing I remember.
Kind of the same. There were it was like fractals in the sky, almost.
They almost look like a rip in space-time.
Okay, so that's a thing that you know about can happen?
I do not know much about that. I never attended the school, the academy, the same way that the others did. I grew up with Zero, and he was more focused on biological things rather than quantum physics. Aximili,
Okay.
he may know more.
Okay. So we gotta find the others. We gotta figure this thing out, where we are. And then we gotta figure out how to get home, guys.
Yeah. Like who get in a boat.
I don't think a boat is gonna get us there.
Well, I guess we can morph. But if we gotta go through that water again, I'd rather take a boat. I would want to be on the surface so that thing can't get us.
I think we're gonna need a bigger boat.
Ah! Do it.
No, but for real though, this is serious. I'm a little terrified.
Yeah. Look at the sun.
Yeah.
Okay, so he looks around as you finish your demorph as well. Well, should we? I want to get away from this beach.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
All right, we're to the forest.
Sure. That's terrifying.
As he ruffles his hair to try to get some of the water out of it, he starts to walk towards the forest. And so do you. Zach, you thud to the ground. The fractals of reality pulling on the space in front of you, forcing it to fold in on itself until it sends a wave of force out. And then everything just shudders together. The force blows the now long yellow grasses surrounding you. As you sit up in your human body, in front of you, you see a jungle in the distance, made up of huge, huge trees, bigger than any trees you've seen before. There's a mountain in the distance within the jungle. You hear noises and calls from the forest. Roll a perception check.
And I'm a human boy.
A human boy.
Human boy. And it is a 16.
What catches your eye immediately as you taking your surroundings is the sun. It's burning brighter and a deeper orange than you've ever seen it. It looks abnormal. It's not your sun. You also notice next to the sun another star that's glowing brightly. And I don't know how into astrology or anything that Zach is, but even he notices that this is unusual. There's the big glowing red orangish sun, and then there's another big glowing star next to it.
Now, is it large enough that it looks like a sun, or is it just a very bright point of light?
Very, very bright point of light. Not a sun, though.
So it's not a Luke Skywalker Tatooine situation.
Right.
Got it. Okay.
Also, what you notice, this is just you sitting up. It's not you standing up, looking around, taking in everything. It's just you. This is what you get as you initially sit up. So there's that forest in the distance that the mountain's in, but it's kind of to the left of you, you see another little forest. And then through that forest, you see a beach. And as you strain to kind of make out the details, an orangish brown scaled head lifts up in front of you out of this grass. It has a short snout that ends in a sharp looking beak mouth, and the top of its skull has a massive dome. It looks right into your eyes as you see it.
Do I recognize this creature, or does this look totally alien to me?
You can roll a history check.
Oh, 19.
Yeah, I mean, you recognize a dinosaur.
Zach
when
is
you
as
see
surprised as anyone. That's a dinosaur. All right.
Yeah.
Zach is as surprised as anyone to have recognized anything.
I'll tell you this. Zach's initial thought, who knows what kind of dinosaur, but like just its general shape, and like that's the first thing that comes to your mind. Though with everything that Zach has experienced within the last few months, it could be an alien too. But like I'll say like you recognize it as a dinosaur as you like realize this.
I do want to point out that Zach would probably know what Pokemon it looks like if it looks like a Pokemon.
It does look like a Pokemon.
Is it a Cranidos by chance?
Yes.
Yes. How close is it?
15 feet in front of you, just lifted up out of this grass and like looked at you.
Does it look mad?
Give me a quick insight check with disadvantage.
Sure. So that's a 3.
It just stands in front of you and you see like this little beak just chew as it watches you.
Okay. So I'm sitting. I'm gonna continue to sit. And I'm just gonna watch it and wait for the Elemist. After a couple minutes, Zach is gonna be like, come on, man. I don't really want to wait like a long time. Like, wherever you're at, like, just come on.
You say that out loud, and as you've kind of sat and just stayed focused, waiting for this Elemist to come, and this thing will like lean back down, and you see that it goes back to like chewing on the grasses. And as you say that, and you kind of like gesture around, like, come on, you take in the rest of your surroundings.
Okay.
Behind you is a field of plains that stretch over hills. And in the distance, you do see another tree line and like the far distance. This is a big plain, field plain. But you also immediately notice more of creatures in this field grazing. Creatures you recognize from movies and history lessons in elementary school when they're first teaching you about the prehistoric creatures that have never been seen by human eyes, these dinosaurs. One massive dark creature on 4 legs lumbers forward and leans its fanned out head with 2 horns jutting up out of the top. It lumbers forward and bites into this bush with these big wide leaves that just grow off the ground.
Is that also near me?
It is a little bit ways away in this field. This one's a little bit further. The closest one to you was Cranium, the bald-headed one.
Yeah. Okay. I think Zach is gonna make some moves here. I would like to try to inch forward and just towards this Cranidos. Zach definitely doesn't know what it's called. I know, of course. So he's gonna just kind of inch towards it and see if it notices or cares. You know how you just kind of scooch forward a little? I'm just gonna scooch.
The first little scooch, nothing. Second little scooch, nothing. But like as you start to get a little bit closer, it does perk back up and like look at you and wait.
Yeah, I want to look as non-threatening as possible.
This could be an animal handling.
This is animal handling? Great. So good at that. Fuck. That's a 5.
You stop as it looks at you. Giving it a second, you move just a little bit and it like cracks a stick underneath you. And this thing blows out breath and then stomps its foot and like just looks at you like side-eyed and waits.
Zach stops moving. There's no way he's gonna be like, yeah, let's go, motherfucker. I'm not gonna fight a dinosaur, Austin. Can I roll like to hide or anything? To just, cause I want to sneak around. I want to try to record him if I can. I want to like sneak around and grab his tail or something. Not grab, just lightly touch. But I want to get out of his immediate sight.
You will have to like move, but you can try to like roll a stealth check to, you know, move behind some rocks and stuff. Yellow grass is all around you. It's just like a plains, like a field.
So if he's right by these rocks, he would try to like sneak around the outside and then like come up from behind.
Roll a stealth check as you try to move out of his way and duck behind the rocks.
No, I got a 22 though.
Yeah, so he like watches you scurry back a little bit, and then you get behind the rock and he watches you for a second, but then as like you duck down, you can kind of see through some of the cracks, and he stares for 20 seconds, but then he goes back to eating.
Okay. So I'm definitely gonna like army crawl behind these rocks or whatever to, you know, I'm trying to get up close. I want to like, his tail gets close to me maybe. Does he swish it back and forth like a cat? I don't know. Probably just lays there.
It is swinging back and forth as he like eats, but it's like kind of like the tip of it's kind of high because he's like bent down and it's up. But like you're behind these rocks, there's a chance that if you came out of stealth, you could like grab the tail real quick. If you wanted to do that without him seeing, you would roll another stealth check to grab it, but then you would have grabbed it.
I'm gonna try to do the stealth, and if it's gonna be bad, I'll just lunge and see what happens. That's a 12.
12. You succeed because I have to beat you. He doesn't notice you as you like move out and the tail is just within your grasp. You grab it?
Yeah, and I'm gonna hope that I still have morph powers and try to record him.
As normal, you reach out, grab the tail, you feel that tingle in your fingers of you absorbing creature's DNA. However, this thing doesn't stop moving. It starts to turn its body because it can't turn its head over its shoulder and like looks its side eye at you. Roll initiative.
16.
You get to act first, Zach.
Great. I'm gonna fucking run away.
All right. This isn't a battle, by the way. It's a skills challenge because as you start to run away, this thing starts to chase you.
I mean, the first thing I'm gonna do if he turns fully towards me and starts chasing me, I'm gonna try to hide in this bush over here, like between bush and rock, maybe. 25.
You run and kind of hop over these rocks and slide down into this bush and wait just a couple of seconds as you hear the boom, 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 boom. And then he leaps over this bush and just keeps moving forward.
Good. Great. Skills challenge over.
Almost.
He leaves and I win.
As you like sit here and think about how lucky you are that this thing didn't see you, feel a slight tremble in the ground. Then it shakes more and more and more. As you kind of peek out of this bush, you see running straight towards your bush in your area are more of these cranidoses and triceratops, and you also see within this tree line a huge neck stretch out, bite onto a tree, rip some of the leaves off and start chewing. As you've seen this dinosaur many times before, watching Land Before Time.
It's a long neck.
Yeah,
we know
it's
what
a long neck
is. Yeah, so this is a long neck.
Or a titanid. Yes, it's one of those big ones that has the long neck.
Yeah, got it. I mean, if these motherfuckers are coming right at me, I gotta scooch. The rocks behind me, do they look like they would provide cover? Or are they sort of scattered rocks that are gonna get knocked away by something large?
So some of them are just those scattered rocks that'll get knocked away. There are bigger ones that do provide a little cover, but if one of the bigger dinosaurs hit them, they would still move. They're not like mountain outcroppings. They're just big rocks that are kind of set in here.
I mean, looking at this stampede or whatever, is it so wide across that I could not escape it?
You could like make a break for the tree line. It would be a tough thing to do. You'd have to run as fast as you could pretty much, but you could try.
I'm a fast boy. Yeah, I'll do that. I guess I can roll in athletics if you'd like one.
Yeah.
Fuck.
You stand up out of this bush and go to just take off, and one of the roots just
And
catches
trip.
around. Yeah. You
Yep.
drop. So now I'll say with that, you can't get to the tree line before the stampede would get to you because of this little slip up. You know that you can't make it to the tree line now.
No. I'm going to pick a target. What do I got coming at me? You said Triceratops. You said Cranidoses. Sorry, three horns. Three horns and Cranidoses. What else?
Three horns and Cranidoses and a Hadrodon.
I want to know this. Do I feel like I've rested, or am I still tired as fuck?
Whatever happened with those fractals that split in front of you, after you saw them and you landed and kind of thudded on the ground, you do feel fully rested. Like something must have happened with time or something.
I am going to pick a target. Triceratops, let's say. And I'm gonna, when it's approaching me, use its momentum and my acrobatic skills to swing up on its back. Grab a horn and just Disney's Tarzan my way up onto his back.
Fuck yeah. Let's go, Legolas.
You get it. That's a 28, my dude. That's a 28.
You tell me what it looks like.
So, all right. Hell yeah. I'm so ready. I love this. I'm excited. So, I jump up out of this bush. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go. And I try to run, and my foot is like, we're not going anywhere, homie. Me and this tree root have become best friends. And so we're in love, and we're gonna run away together. And the rest of your body's gonna have to deal with that. So then I fall down. And then I go, well shit. And I look, and there's this big, just motherfucker. Got a scar over one eye. Earrings, tattoos. He's a bad guy. That's him. You found him. You knew who I meant. Bearing right down on me. But he's not looking at me. He's just stampeding like everybody else. Head's going crazy. And I see what his head's doing, and I time it, man. One of them big, long horns comes down, and I grab onto it, and when he flips it up, I, get snatched up off the ground, and then I, spin around, and I jump on his back. I'm just doing the surfer guy thing. I basically grab the horn, let him swing me up, and then I grab the big frill on the back and kind of stand on his back.
Yeah, and it's knocks some rocks out of the way.
Hell yeah.
It crushes that bush that tripped you as revenge for you.
Nice.
And it just keeps barreling forward. More dinosaurs kind of running beside it. Quadruped, bipedal, just boom, 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 boom.
I am gonna say, while I'm on his back, I am definitely recording him as well.
All right.
While he's running. And I guess he also doesn't go, "Ooh, sweetie." I mean, I'm holding his frill.
As you concentrate on him, you do feel him for a second stumble, but he keeps after that. Roll a perception check.
18? I'm actually rolling good, except for that athletics check, but otherwise I'm doing all right.
You notice as you get your bearings and you're riding this thing not easy, you're struggling to hold on, but you are riding this thing in a stampede. And you kind of look over and you see behind the stampede, at the end of it, in this kind of tall grass, there's streaks of the grass moving.
Yeah, I've seen Jurassic World. I know what's up. It's fucking blue.
You see a figure hop out of this grass to one of these smaller Triceratops. It's about 15 feet long from nose to tail. Its head is lizard shaped, long maw, sharp teeth, and there's feathers, like a feather frill that seems to go from the top of its head down its back, and kind of feathers kind of spread out along its back down its tail. It has two little arms in front of it, but I say arms, but they're technically wings because they are folded up in the front of it and have feathers just coming off of it. And as it jumps through the air, you see that it has these talons, like bird talons on its feet, and one of the claws is about a 6-inch razor sharp hook, scythe claw, and it digs into this baby Triceratops's neck, sends it to the ground as 3 more jump out of the grass and start digging into this baby Triceratops. As you guys move more into the grazing area for these dinosaurs and the grass gets a little bit shorter, 10, 15 of these creatures come out of the grass and are chasing the stampede. So back to the skills challenge. What do you do as you see this?
But I'm at the front because I grabbed one of the first dudes.
True, you are at the front. You do see these things hop on one dinosaur, take it down, and then more just come, and they are gaining quick. They're not taking down the whole herd, but every now and then they'll drop somebody.
For now, I'm just going to keep my eye on them and try to encourage this thing to run faster. It's already probably running as fast as it can, so I don't know that I can do anything. Can I steer it? I want to try to steer it.
That would be animal handling.
I've got the frill. I'm going to try to just like turn him towards the big tree line. Is that a 3? It is a 3. Great. Uh-oh.
You pull on this frill and the Triceratops starts to lean towards the way you want it to go, and then it resists and it lets out this call and moves back the other way and just hits some rocks. The rocks fly up.
One hits me in the face.
Yeah.
Great.
3 bludgeoning and make an athletics check to hold on.
14.
You do slip, but I'll say you're like hanging with one leg kind of flailing.
Okay. All right, so how tightly packed is this stampede?
The next closest dinosaur is probably more than 5 feet, less than 10 away from you.
Okay, so 7.
That's the number I was thinking, Nate. I just didn't want to say it because it was like one of those in-betweenies.
Oh, the old in-betweenie. That's what I call all my fingers between here and here.
Check out these in-betweenies.
Look at my in-betweenies. What's the dinosaur nearest to which way I'm falling?
The Cranidos is over there.
Another Cranidos? What about on the other side?
On the other side, as you like pull up and look over that side of the Triceratops, you see a Hadrodon. They look like the Cranidoses, except they don't have a cranium. They're just flat heads, and they're a little bit bigger. Hadrosaurus.
Oh, it's the duck. It's Ducky.
Yeah, Ducky.
Okay, why didn't you just say so?
Sorry.
It's Hydrosaur. It's the Hydrodon, right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm just gonna try to scramble back up. Do I need to do a check for that?
Yeah, that would be athletics.
Another athletics. I'm bad at those. Another 3.
Yeah, you could do something else. You slip and
I fall further.
Hit the ground and roll. And as you do, you see another Triceratops barreling forward, and he lifts up his foot and he's about to come down onto you.
Well, I'll roll out of the way. That is acrobatics.
You could do acrobatics for that one.
Cool, that's a nat. No, it's not, because I have advantage on acrobatics. I do. Ooh.
All right.
That was fucking close. I have 13.
So this thing is coming to stomp down, and you go to roll one way and like hit like a rock, and it stops you, and you quickly roll the other way just in time as this Triceratops foot comes down and hits right beside you.
Okay. Fuck. I'm just gonna try to grab some dead grasses and shit and hide myself and try to stay out of anything's way. So there's a combination of stealth and actively dodging that I'm trying to do here. I'll take that 22. That's great.
You have dead grass. You feel pretty stealth. The majority of the stampede moves past you. There are still like stragglers.
So what I'm specifically hoping for is that one of these velociraptors or whatever comes kind of close to my hiding place but doesn't see me, and I can maybe grab a little toe.
All right, let's give them a little check.
Uh-oh. Okay. I saw that 20 come up and I was like, uh-oh.
A young Cranidos comes sniffing and is like, it's looking around for, the rest of the herd, and it comes to this bush and starts sniffing, and you see that it kind of notices you. But then all of a sudden from the side, one of these feathered faster dinosaurs just runs into it, knocks it to the ground, and then 2 or 3 more jump on it and they start eating it. Now they're about 7 feet from your bush or from your hiding spot.
So I'm realizing now that this is a Cranidos, and what I found earlier was a Rampardos. Right. That's the evolved version.
Let's see.
This is the little one. Yeah, you get it. All right. Okay. They're busy. They're eating this guy. All right. Perception check to see if there's any stragglers looking around for extra food, or if everyone is busy. 19.
You notice one smaller of these creatures isn't with the pack. It's kind of looking through some of the dropped bodies, leftovers that the rest of the pack hasn't got. And yeah, it's by itself.
Pretty far away?
30 feet from you now, but it's moving further.
Okay. I'm gonna fucking stealth it. This is so stupid. I should not be doing this. This is Zach's internal monologue. It's just like, you shouldn't. You don't need to do this. Don't do this. You shouldn't do this. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. It's a 19.
You sneak away from these ones that are eating the Cranidos closest to you.
No. I wanted to get one of the larger ones.
Oh, I thought you were saying, was there one that was off by itself away?
Oh, I was checking to see if I go for this group that's all eating something, is there going to be another one that goes haha and snacks me up?
Okay, yeah.
That's what
okay. I see what you're saying, but you are still going for the group.
Oh, just one of them.
Yeah, but one of them within the group. Yeah.
Whatever one's closest, if they're all head first inside this dead baby Cranidos and they got their tail sticking up, I'm just going to try to.
Yeah, you sneak up close enough to be able to grab the tail, and you grab it.
I try to record it.
You feel that tingle. So the one that you're grabbing, I'm going to give a perception check just to see if he notices, and it won't be a disadvantage because you're actually touching
I'm touching him? Yeah, that's fair.
As you grip it, it notices and the tail stops like moving back and forth, and it flicks real quick and it goes out of your hand. You do still record it, but there was 2 other ones on it, so I'm going to give them perception checks with disadvantage because they're chomping down.
Okay. I mean, I got a 19.
Yeah, they got to beat the 19.
Hopefully they won't. Okay, that one's fine.
Yeah, that one's fine. It was close.
That one's fine.
Oh, that one was even closer.
Oh my God. Dear listener, he rolled 2 19s.
But with that disadvantage, the other rolls were 16, which is respectable.
Okay.
The second one was an 18, which was very close.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, they seem to just keep digging into their meal, not paying it too much attention.
Zach gets back down under his grass now and just lays there. No, he starts to morph. I'm going to start morphing.
Okay.
Would you like to know who I'm morphing?
Yeah.
I figured you might. Mo.
Okay. You morph and you're like huddled down into a spot where nobody can see you, and the sounds of the world drowned out the morphing sounds. And about 30 seconds later, you're Mo.
I'm a cockatoo. Yeah. I leave. I go up now.
You flap up into the air, climbing, gaining altitude, rising above the prehistoric plain.
And I don't like it, but I am flying towards that giant motherfucker.
Dylan. You guys enter the forest line. You walk for a little ways. Right here where the tree line starts to meet the sand, there's less foliage and you can kind of walk through it. But as you get deeper and deeper into the tree line and where the canopy starts to shadow down, like a lot of these trees are like, they're spread out. They're like not clumped up together. They're more spread out, but like the foliage around them grows out in between them. And as you get into that, it gets a little tougher to move. Like you feel like cuts on your feet. You get hung up at certain points. You have to like move the brush out of the way. You think if you spent prolonged time walking through this, it would hinder you greatly, maybe even hurt you a little bit.
As we're moving, I want to kind of try and look and see if I see anything that looks like a larger palm tree or anything like that.
Yeah, roll a perception check. As you get deeper into this forest and these trees, it's harder to make out more of the trees on the coast, and you don't see any of the trees that you're trying to look out for at the moment.
Okay. All right. Then is there anything that has like a sort of thicker but like bendable bark?
Yeah, one of those trees that you spotted earlier that has like the branches hanging down. They definitely bend because they grow kind of down and like let the weight of the tree bend them. So yeah, you could probably get something off one of those trees.
She's gonna walk up and like sort of tap on one of the trees and be like, "Hey, Matea, can you cut us a little bit of one of these, like roughly?" And she holds up her foot, like holds her ankle in both of her hands and holds it up to Matea's face and is like roughly this size. And then goes over and grabs Kamren, like reaches down, grabs Cameron's ankle and lifts it up. And this size, like 2 each.
Yes. You wish to make yourself artificial hooves?
Yep. That's,
Strange, but I will help. And she walks over to the tree, slices some stuff up. Let's see how well she does it. Pretty good. They're nice shape and size that you asked for.
Nice. Then I'm gonna take a couple of little viney bits and make like little crisscrosses over the part where the pad of our foot will go, and then a loop around the back, for me at least.
Yeah, give me a survival check.
Can do.
It's rough. You got to sit down here for a good 30 minutes to get one done. But yeah, you get yours made up. Kamren like tries to follow your lead as you're making them and do the same. And he manages to tie his just a little bit tighter than yours.
Nice. Tighter's not always better.
Right.
For shoes.
Yeah, maybe that'll be a detriment to him.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'm gonna stand up and be like, new kicks.
Yeah. Shoe game off the chain. You know, Kamren looks at you. We could just morph.
Shut up. Why did you let me make these and then say that?
I don't know. I just thought about it.
You seriously, you like sat there and you watched me.
I sat here and did it too. With you.
I'm so mad right now. I can't even. What? Why?
Look, you morph. I'll stay here with the shoes.
What?
Yeah. That way.
No, we'll just take the shoes with us.
Oh, yeah. I guess it depends on what we morph. They could wear shoes, maybe.
Well, okay. Sure. Yes. Okay. We don't know what's in this forest either, though. Like, if we come across somebody, what's going to look weird here?
Well, we're both in our morphing outfits.
Probably 2 teenagers and an Andalite would look pretty weird, too, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Matea should definitely morph. I can go to Hummingbird.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. I like this. Because Matea, you have the best grasp on time. Even though you're a little wonky on it right now, you have the best grasp on time. I don't want us to morph Kamren because I don't want to get stuck. And I don't know if you do. Doesn't sound good to me.
That actually makes sense. Not that you don't normally make sense, Dylan.
No, it's cool. I get it. No, yeah. Uh-huh.
All right. No morphing. Yet.
Unless we need to.
Yeah.
You get it.
If that thing comes back.
Oh, I'm running. I don't know what you're talking about. If it can be on land, what are you going to do?
Die.
I don't think it can be on land. It had flippers. I mean, seals can be on land, but like not far inland.
Oh. Well, at least we're safe here.
Why would you say that?
Because Things in the water. Where
Dylan's just gonna like look around.
you notice in the distance just a quick movement disappear like behind a bush 60-ish feet away from you.
That's too close. Okay. Dylan's gonna be like, yeah, why don't we keep moving and keep our eyes and ears open?
All right. Listening. So you have advantage on perception checks while Kamren's near you.
Sweet.
You guys keep moving. Is there anything in particular you're looking for? Or are you just walking around hoping to maybe run into something?
Definitely walking around hoping to find any signs of like the rest of the group, like any snap twigs with spandex on it or anything like that. Anything that looks like a fire.
Roll me a survival check just because this is kind of like tracking.
Yeah.
Kamren will help you.
Yeah, Dylan doesn't get outside much. She's spent the last couple of years not being outside a lot, so.
You don't find anything as far as spandex or even like a blood or anything like that. Nothing that immediately stands out. However, as you are looking around and trying to find these things, roll an investigation check as you look closer at this foliage and stuff around you.
Okay. Can't perceive, can invest.
Mm-hmm. Invest you shall. You're like looking and you see one of these big trees is kind of downed, and you're like looking along it to see what if you can find any clue to where your friends are. You go to the other side and another fallen tree and smushed shrubbery, and you start to look around and notice there's almost a path of toppled trees and brush that has been smushed down in about a 10-foot wide area that just moves through this forest.
Hey, Maitea, can you get like an aerial view of this for us?
Yes.
Some big came through.
She just finishes her morph as her beak just flicks out and she flies up into the air. And Kamren is just like looking at the trees and looking around, and he's like looking down and he sees a puddle and he just jumps in it and splashes the water up. Dylan?
Yeah?
There are massive creatures walking around.
How massive? Like, you've seen Savannah when she goes, Elefante.
Bigger. Much bigger.
Kamren, I think I know where we are.
He kicks like water up like away from you and then turns to look at you. The middle of nowhere?
No. Well, it won't be.
What do you mean?
I mean, I think we're right at home.
And you look at Kamren as he's like kicking around in this puddle, just listening to you, and he says, Dylan, I really don't understand when you talk cryptic like this. If you could just spit it out and you look, the puddle he's standing in is a huge footprint. It is round, and the top part has like little juts up of 4 round, like where the toes would be.
I'm going to walk down into the puddle, grab him, and pull him like up on top of one of the fallen trees and just direct his head to look at it.
He looks down. What? Oh. Is that a footprint?
Yeah, my dude.
To what?
Well, it could be any number of things. Luckily, that one doesn't look like a predator, at least.
The only thing big enough to make something like that is aliens.
Oh, okay. Well, no. Okay, wait.
Like a Jubba
Hold on.
Jubba. I bet a Jubba... it's too big to be a Jubba Jubba.
Way too big to be a Jubba Jubba. It's dinosaurs, my guy.
Dinosaurs. Wait. The Yeerks brought back dinosaurs?
No.
What do you mean? You say there's dinosaurs and then you say there's not dinosaurs.
Look around here. Look at all of this. Look at these plants. They shouldn't be this big. They shouldn't be like that. That's proto-grass, my guy.
What's proto-grass? He like looks down.
That's the before grass. And what we have is the grass.
After grass.
No, we have grass. We have
Regular grass.
After grass would be like there's nothing. So desert. Yeah.
So this is the before grass, and we have the grass. And then there's dinosaurs. But there's not dinosaurs where we are.
But there used to be.
There used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan.
Kamren.
I think something happened with time. And the dinosaurs came forward to our time.
Okay, we're going to go with that.
All right. I'm glad I figured it out because Savannah's going to need to know if she's going to get us out of here.
Yeah, Savannah's not going to know what's going on. You're right. Of all the people that we know.
She probably won't even want to send
Savannah.
these things back, honestly. You know how she is.
Yeah, she would. She would care about their conservation. But that's not the point here.
Survival.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Also, we don't need to send it back. But you know what? That's just a small detail. It's small.
You hear just echo out through this forest. And then you hear in your head as Matea shoots down through the canopy and is flying towards you as fast as she can. And then through the canopy, another figure, flat, leathery wings spread out to about 10 feet wide, long, sharp beak in front of its head, a horn that juts out of the back. A pteranodon is shooting down through the canopy towards Matea, mouth wide. And as Matea is about 30 feet up, this thing opens its mouth, swoops down, swallows Matea. Zach.
But I am flying towards that giant motherfucker that was eating a whole ass tree earlier.
The big,
Yeah,
he's moved.
Can I still see him? Is he too hard to find now?
He has moved away, but yeah, he's still above the trees. You can see him moving, and he seems to be moving towards a herd of dinosaurs like him.
Okay. I find the biggest one.
You flap that way, and as these extra large thermals carry you up into the air, and you kind of glide on them, and it raises you up high and allows you to descend and get to where you're going faster. You end up catching up to this creature. It's massive.
Yeah, I'm just going to land on its back, which I assume is the size of a fucking driveway. Like, it's got to be huge, right?
Yeah.
I just land in the middle of it and demorph.
Yeah, as you land, you start to demorph. Roll a perception check.
I guess I should have done that from the air, probably. But whatever. There's a 19.
As you land and you're demorphing, you hear calls from the air, and you look up, and you see these creatures with a wingspan that has to be 15 to 20 feet wide, long, sharp beaks. Their heads extend back into a point, and they glide above these creatures, circling higher than you were just a few seconds ago. And they spot you.
Well, that's unfortunate. Does he have any frills or spikes or anything that I can hide underneath, or is this just a big, broad, flat back?
This one doesn't have any frills, but the back of it is like chitinous almost. It's like got this thick skin that kind of protrudes up, and there's like places where the bird body could kind of get into like these nooks a little bit.
Am I back to being fully human yet? Or?
You have just started, so you're about a round in.
Oh, I mean, if I've noticed that, then I'm going to just go back to being a bird.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to get somewhere a little less exposed. I don't know if he's got folds on his neck or anything, you know what I mean? Like, I'll try to get over there.
Yeah, you flutter over there and kind of get folded into the neck, and these things are circling, and they do come down and land on the back, kind of where you just were. And they just fold their wings and kind of perch there and watch you as you're like in this fold of the neck.
I just watch back, I guess.
This thing continues to lumber forward. It knocks over some of these trees as it moves. Nothing getting in its way.
Where are the trees tops hitting on this creature?
So some of them come up to like its chin. Some of them do go higher than it, but those are the more rare trees. Most of them mid-neck.
I'm gonna kind of wait for him to push past one where the branches and shit, like the main leaf area, are at roughly neck height where I'm at. And as he brushes past it, I'm just gonna kind of hop into the branches. All stealthy like, if I need to roll a stealth.
Yeah, go ahead and roll a stealth. It'll be a disadvantage because they're actively watching you.
Cool. Good. Cool.
You hop out of this fold and flutter into these branches to try to escape and hide from these creatures. They both jump forward and lunge at you. Make 2 dexterity saves now.
That's another nat 1.
Oh, holy shit. You might have a better plus to your saves.
That's another nat 1. God damn it.
As you hop forward and kind of flutter to get into these bushes, one of these things lunges forward and just snaps the branches that are in its way and chomps down on your wing. You feel it break, the skin rip as one of your wings is gone now. And just as you're reeling from that, the other one jumps at you, shoots for your neck, but you manage to flap your other wing just enough to lift enough where it bites onto one of your foots. It rips its head back. One of your legs just pops out and off. You are now missing a right wing and a left leg. Take some damage real quick.
Oh, am I?
9.
Okay. I am going to, you said that these things have a 15-foot wingspan. How large is their body?
If you're about a foot, I would say they're about 3 or 4. And as far as the 15-foot wingspan, some of them up in the air have the 15. Some of them are a little shorter. These ones, I'll say, sit more around the 10 feet.
Oh, you said 15 to 20. Okay, so I thought these were on the smaller.
There's different sizes of them.
I'm just going to start demorphing. I don't think I have anything else I can do.
If you want to speed it up, you can roll a concentration check.
Yeah, I'll do that. That sounds like a great idea. Thank you. Dirty 20.
This starts fast and moves fast as your body starts to change. These 2 flying creatures scarf down your body parts on their round. So it's back to you. You're like in this tree, kind of like laying on one of these wide branches.
I am going to rapidly become a boy. Just as fast as I can. 13.
Yeah, like your life is on the line. You're morphing as fast as you can, and you do see these things kind of as they finish your limbs and you're kind of moving and morphing down this branch. They flutter up, land on the branch that you're on, and one of them lands above you, and they look to be about to make another attack.
I want hands so bad. I don't know if me wanting hands so bad is something I can
High or low?
roll for or something. High is fine.
Unfortunately, your hands haven't emerged yet.
Just baby fat and all the maple syrup that I'm made of to be extra delicious. Yeah, good.
One of them does shoot down at you, so make another dex save. Yeah, this thing shoots down, and as like your leg is now emerging from where your cockatoo leg was cut off, one of them slices into it for 5 slashing. Back to you.
I'm going to keep demorphing.
I think you have 2 rounds left.
Nothing I can do.
Your hands haven't emerged yet, but maybe.
14.
Just as your hands finally emerge out of these feathers, the last one shoots down toward you as you're fully human. Make dexterity save.
Okay. I want to grab this fucking thing's neck. 18.
It misses you, and it's like flying past you as you like duck out of its way, and it's your turn.
I'm fucking snatching at it.
All right, roll athletics or acrobatics. Opposed.
Oh, acrobatics. How's a 21?
21. You grab it.
I'm mad, and I'm not even thinking about recording it. I'm just gonna swing it by its neck at the other one.
All right, yeah, because this one's shooting at you now. So make a strength improvised weapon.
Yeah, I'll do that.
A 7 misses.
I didn't hit.
All right, so the second one will fly down and try to bite at you as you hold
It's
this.
still
in.
trying. Okay, fucking idiot. Hit me then. Stop trying to hit me and hit me.
Natural 1.
Good for him.
You swing at it and it misses, and then it circles back around and shoots towards you. You just dodge out of the way and it smacks into the tree. It's gonna take some damage for that. not too much, but
It's fine.
you're up.
I'm still just holding this thing by the neck. I want to record it.
That'll be your action to start it. Since we're in combat, basically, you have to hold it until your next round.
That's fine.
Now it's this thing's turn, so it'll try to get out. You gotta beat, 23. That's not right. Why is that oh, that was you. I was like, how the fuck did I roll a 23? Yeah, you keep it. The second one is dazed from running into this tree, so it'll back up and it'll still make an attack against you, but with disadvantage. 9 plus 3 is 11. Does that hit?
My armor class is 13. And for the record, 9 plus 3 is 12.
That's true. I was just
is.
trying to keep you on your toes.
I'm on them.
All right. You're on them enough that you don't get hit. It's your turn.
Nice. Do I finish recording this thing?
You do.
What's the biggest morph I've got?
Triceratops.
Orca. Oh, yeah, well, now it's Triceratops, isn't it? I'm on a branch. going to Triceratops while I'm on a branch probably isn't a good idea.
I want you to do it. I think it would be great.
I think I am, like, mad at him enough that I'm just going to be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to start morphing Triceratops.
All right. That's your action. Is to start. You can speed it up with your bonus if you want.
Yeah. While I'm holding him, by the way. Still holding him.
You start quick. You speed up. The one will try to get away from you. Yeah, you got to be a 12. You do it.
Okay, I did.
The second one attacks you for
I want to be clear. I have advantage on acrobatics, so that was a 29.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you definitely move around as this thing tries to attack you.
I'm just going to continue to morph. I'll roll my constitution checks. I got a 9 that time.
So it doesn't speed up. You only get one more into it. This one will again try to get away. This is basically one's trying to get away, one's trying to attack you. So opposed athletics or acrobatics.
At some point, I'm... Okay.
So you still got him right now, but this one's going to try to attack you. A natural 20.
Oh, that'll do it.
10 piercing damage as this thing finally manages to sink into your now expanding arm with its beak. And I'll say, as it does that and your hands finally form into these big Triceratops feet, that's when you let the second one go and it's your turn.
Okay. I'm gonna at this point try to hop down as best I can. I guess roll off the branch.
Yeah, this branch is starting to wane. You're up pretty high. You're up here by like the back of this where this thing was, like where the base of the neck met. Yeah, but you can roll off. You will take some fall damage.
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll call it 40 feet. So that's a d6 per 10 feet. So 4d6. 12 bludgeoning damage as your ever-growing body smacks into the ground. You're growing and you're getting scarier and scarier. These two will take one more attack at you. 9 to hit.
Nah.
17 to hit.
Yes.
So that's 6 more piercing damage as you're growing bigger and bigger.
My only plan was to scare them off. Am I out of battle, out of initiative at this
I
point?
mean, they're still kind of flapping. Go ahead and give me an intimidation check as you're getting bigger.
I'll do that. Do I get to use the Triceratops intimidation?
Yeah.
Great. So I'm just going to roll a straight strength check, which will be the same as Zach's intimidation check, actually. Fucking 10. That sucks.
As you're on this ground, the way your body's like shifting, even though you're getting bigger, you look helpless because of the way morphing looks. So
yeah,
it's your turn, but they're not. Doesn't seem like they're backing away.
All right, I'm just going to continue the morph. Is there anything here that I could hide beneath as a Triceratops?
Probably not, just because you're already getting so much bigger and getting bigger faster. 2 more attacks against you, so these +3, 19 for both.
That'll hit Zach. Oh, it's the same AC either way, so I guess it doesn't matter.
So you would take 5 piercing, and you have 1 more round, so you would finish your morph at the end of this round.
Okay, yeah, I'll just finish my morph.
All right, it finishes.
Nice.
They'll get attack apiece on you. So, nope, neither one of those hit. Your turn.
Okay, I roll to control the Triceratops.
I was gonna do it. I was waiting for you to tell me what you do, and I was gonna be like, you try to do it. Yeah, let's roll it up.
What do I got to roll?
Wisdom check for you. You gotta be the 7.
It's not good. The Triceratops beats me.
It flails its big body as you're prone on the ground and stands up and just takes off into a direction. The good news is the flying creatures kind of flap away. The bad news is you run deeper into the forest, and as you're running and running and running, eventually the Triceratops mind starts to calm. But it is in the middle of these woods. Roll another wisdom check.
20.
You finally grasp this prehistoric mind. It was harder than normal, harder than almost any other animal that you've tried to control, that you've morphed. And as you take this in and you realize that you are a Triceratops, you hear breathing in front of you. And as this mist kind of flows through the forest, you see a massive bipedal creature with a huge maw, razor sharp teeth, watch you. Savannah. I am coming, Prince Savannah. And he starts to move forward towards this Ankylosaurus, his tail blade cocked back.
I think she's gonna try not to move, but she's just gonna go easy. Like, she's trying to be like calm, but don't do that.
As you like start to talk even quietly and like move just slightly, this thing does look back at you. It lets out another breath, and just seeing you move quick, it kind of staggers back a little bit. And let's see if Aximili picks up what you're putting down. Roll a persuasion check.
Oh boy. Does he have advantage to understand what I'm saying?
I don't think so. And he doesn't have a very high wisdom either. So his insight.
What?
He's intelligent, not wise. He doesn't pay attention in class. But he does pick it up, and you see his feet just kick up some of this grass and dirt, and as he stops, and this causes the Ankylosaurus to hear this, and it starts to turn, and Aximili kind of shimmies behind a tree to try to hide as best as he can. And he doesn't do a great job at it. The Ankylosaurus, now seeing Aximili, will turn, lumber forward.
Can Savannah get the hand on it? She's gonna try that concentration. She doesn't. The trance didn't work the first time. Can she give it a shot?
You can lunge forward, a dex save. You got to beat a 10 to try to record it before it gets away. You hop out, put your hand on it. You feel the tingle as you move forward. It stops for a second, and then its tail just swings. It's not even thinking about it anymore. Where would you have put your hand on it?
She is lunging forward to try and put her hand as close to the base of the tail as possible. when this thing starts swinging, she wants to like lean in and grab on again as close to the base as possible. She wants to leave as much of that centrifugal force of the whip of the tail as possible. She wants to get as close to like the bulk as she can. Even if it gets a swing of its tail, it's pushing her. It's not slamming into her.
As this thing swings and you have make another deck save as the tail base moves, and you can do this with advantage. So this tail does, like, as you're grabbing on it, the force still does hit you some, so you're gonna take half damage here. So 17 halved is 8. As this thing moves, the full force of this big ball on the end of its tail smashes into this tree and splinters go everywhere. Let's see how Aximili does.
And she's absolutely at this point giving him like a run, just get away.
Aximili ducks and looks up, and you see he does have like a little piece of the bark is kind of like sticking in his arm, but he says, you must run too, and he runs. It is your turn. You finish acquiring this Ankylosaurus. What do you do?
You're not wrong, and takes off after Aximili.
Give me an athletics check. Aximili will as well. All right, we'll take the average.
We'll take the average. Come on.
Well, the average of a crit 20 is like automatic success.
I meant Aximili should do better because I crit. We should do better.
You're right. You all flee, and this Ankylosaurus lets out like a... And its little babies. Motherfucker. As you all run off into the forest.
There's no rule in the book that says baby dinosaurs didn't swear.
Yeah, and nobody knows that they didn't. What sounds they made.
Nobody knows what sounds they made, so motherfucker is on the...
Mm-hmm. You and Aximili slow down as you get a ways away. Did you spill something?
I killed a mosquito, which is appropriate storyline-wise.
Yeah. You smack a mosquito that's on your arm, and Aximili looks at you.
And then 30 million years later, rodents never evolved.
Oh, shit. Where are we?
I was about to ask you the same thing.
My directional sense is all screwed up. I'm trying to adjust, but I cannot even keep the time at the moment.
Like, keep time as in you don't inherently know the time of day it is now, or like you can't count minutes time?
They both rely on almost the same thing. I can't tell when it is, what day, what time of the day. It also takes concentration for me to be able to track as accurately the passing time. That I think I can get a hold of.
All right. So I'm maybe a little bit sure right now that this is not real. So I'm going to tell you where I think we are, and more importantly, kind of when I think we are. But I just want you to know that, like, if you think that that sounds crazy, I understand that, and like am living in that with you in this moment. But this seems to be maybe millions of years in the past from where we were not so long ago. On Earth, there's multiple species that have been found on Earth, not alive, extinct. 65 million years.
Traveling through time would disrupt my connection to the actual space-time and my ability to track what time of the day it is. However, time travel is impossible.
That was what I was waiting for you to lead with, and less so that the time travel itself would mess with your ability to track it.
He kind of like looks around. So what do we do?
Have you seen anyone else? I kind of just assumed it was just me here, and then you were here. Maybe this is a shared delusion.
That is an option, but the chances of it seem improbable unless there are something that the Yeerks were doing to affect our minds.
So not off the table.
Correct.
Okay.
He just keeps looking around and like you see his stalk eyes moving, keeping a lookout. Should we look for the rest of the group?
Yeah. I'm thinking now that you're here, that it stands to reason that at least some of the others will be here.
Yes, it would not make sense for just us two to come and no one else. Especially if he just thinks for a second. He seems like his like mind is scattered at the moment. Especially if whatever had happened with the Kendrona and Craig caused this, which he still just seems to think for a second as he trails off in his sentence.
If he seems like he's still kind of actively thinking through a thought, she will just kind of like wait it out, like let him get out whatever he's kind of sorting through.
Give me an insight check real quick.
Okie dokie. Artichoke. 21.
You know Aximili, you spend some time with him, you can kind of pick up. From what he told you, his brain's just kind of scrambled right now, and it seems like he's trailing off some of his sentences just as he's like, his brain is catching up. Not necessarily that he has a thought that he wanted to finish or...
Okay, cool. Then, yeah, she'll just give it a minute and then be like, probably birds would make the most sense. We can get aerial coverage of this. To be clear, if this is not just... I'm a little convinced that maybe I just died in the Kendrona thing and that this is just like the last synapses of my brain kind of traveling through and creating an illusion. But just in case it's not, there are probably massive flying creatures that will hunt us when we do that.
Of course, this does not prove anything to you, but he like looks to his arm where you see like that piece of like wood kind of sticking out of it still. This hurts very much. So I assume that this is real for me as well, and not just synapses in your brain.
That's what you would say in my brain. And you can tell that she's kind of a little bit messing with him right now.
It is a paradox. How do I know that this is not my brain just firing off synapses?
Would I say this in your brain?
Yes.
There's no way to know.
There's one way. If this was not a Yeerk trick, and really the synapses in my brain firing off memories, I do not know what these creatures are. Therefore, I would have no way of implanting them in my brain, which makes me believe that this is either 1, a simulation, 2, a hologram, 3, I am somehow trapped in your temporal lobes, and I'm seeing everything that you see within your brain.
Is that possible?
I believe not.
Okay. The one that we were just running from in Kylosaurus, it's a type of ancient creature that lived millions of years ago before a massive extinction event wiped them out.
Then it does stand to reason that this is Earth.
Yeah. Other working theory was we had somehow run into an alien plot where they just made dinosaurs for, I don't know, profit in an ill-fated park where they invited guests to spend lots of money and then everything went wrong.
It's extraordinary that you humans can come up with such crazy ideas before you have the technology to perform them. Also, that is one of the many laws of the universe, not an actual law of physics, but just a law of the universe, that life finds a way.
I see you've been watching the movie channel again.
I have been on a Samuel L. Jackson kick lately.
I'm sure there will be some other gems that will come up from that.
There is this one called Star Wars, and they get almost everything completely inaccurate about space and travel.
Because the guns make sounds in space?
That is one. Also, faster than light travel, you would not go in hyperdrive. You would use a simple rip and Z space, a wormhole, if you will. It would be instantaneous, not take time to travel through hyperspace highways. George Lucas is a fool.
Correct. Aximili, I want to learn so much more about this. Shall we do that while we morph into bird and start searching?
Yes.
Like, I genuinely would like to know a lot more about this.
Yes. As a matter of fact, I said time travel wasn't real, or it's not possible. That is not completely true. You, of course, can time travel into the future. And he starts to morph as he goes on, explaining how you live life and how that is technically time traveling in the future. And when you get in a car or a spaceship, you're technically going milliseconds into the future. So I guess I take back that time travel is not entirely possible.
For just... okay, yeah, sure. She's also morphing, so that was probably all in thought speak of like, okay.
Because you told Axe that there might be creatures in the air, I'm gonna say you all try to avoid them, and you stay near the canopies. Try to stay below them as much as you can.
So first of all, Savannah has also gone red-tailed hawk this time to try and blend in a lot more with the surround. It's like less conspicuous than peregrine and also easier to, soar and that kind of stuff. But different things. Any sign of people. Brightly colored clothing that doesn't belong in here. If Zach was wearing like something or Kamren was wearing something.
I'm gonna go ahead and say everybody was wearing their morph suits, and
right.
You guys tend to keep your morph suits black.
We tend to, but I also know that Kamren has pink underwear. So
True.
if he did that day have underwear on underneath and took his pants off for any particular reason, it might happen. What do I know?
Yeah.
Maybe it'll stand out. So like something, and I mean, even black in certain scenarios can be conspicuous, right? If there's like an open like space of sand, like if it's on a beach or something like that, and we can see that, like something like that. Smoke trails. If there's anything that is on fire, that is probably either a lightning strike, but since there's not inclement weather in the area, I'm gonna guess it's gonna be like something there. Sound. Are we hearing any human talk? Because like I'm imagining at this point the two of them in these morphs where they are such perceptive creatures of sight and sound that it's going to be a wildly different soundscape than they're used to. There's no cars, there's no buildings. These are Savannah's like a city kid, right? Like this is definitely loud in a different way. So anything that's like suddenly is like, oh, that's like home, right? Talking or shuffling in a particular, like anything like that. Obviously screaming, that's a big one. And then any predators that are hunting, because that could be, even if they're being quiet and they're being sneaky, if we can see something hunting something, we'll be able to discover something there.
Roll me a perception check with advantage. And to get a view of everything, you do break the canopy. Aximili following behind you to watch your back. You fly up through this fog, break through the canopy into the air. You notice now you see the sun in full view. It's huge, bright orange. There's like the sides of it seem to flare more than you've ever seen them before. And right next to the sun is another source of light, bright light, smaller. You can't make out what it is. You notice probably a mile to just the position that you're in to your left.
If I can make it super easy, Savannah, whatever direction it genuinely is, she is calling it north because that is like how she's going to orient herself. It doesn't matter if that's like technically accurate or not. She's going to refer to that as her north.
All right. So to your west, about a mile away, you see there's a clearing where the forest ends, and it's a plain of hills and miles that kind of sits in the middle of this forest, like a big clearing. In the distance to your north, you see mountains. You see them sitting there and silhouetted within the forest. To the south, a little ways, probably another mile that way, is the beach, ocean, as far as you can see with your hawk eyes. Creatures. So you do notice one of the first things is as you fly above the canopy, there's a head probably 100 feet from you that kind of turns as you emerge, and it looks at you. A short little stubby head, big eyes on the side, long neck that extends down into the forest. You know this dinosaur, it's a Titanosaurus. Maybe not the biggest version of them, but a pretty fucking big version. Its head doesn't go above all of the trees, but the majority of the trees it does. Only the ones that stand extremely high are taller than this creature. And you also see in the plains that are about a mile away with your red-tailed hawk vision, you can see Triceratops. You see Hadrosaurs. You see hadrosaurs. You see Triceratops. You see, I don't know how to say this one either, but I'm going to start it. You finish it. Pachycephalosaurus.
Pachycephalosaurus?
Yes.
Pachycephalosaurus,
You see
no
its
way!
huge craniums as they run, and there's just hundreds of them. They all gather and they seem to start stampeding through these plains. And the reason is, you notice there's tall grass behind them as they were grazing in these plains. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 streaks in this grass that are just moving as something is below it, causing these herd animals to stampede forward. You see them break the grass, and as they do, one jumps out, and you see it almost looks like those compies that you saw earlier. The same kind of build, elongated head, sharp teeth, back goes down, and it's bipedal. On the end of its legs, you see big old talons, but on one of these talons is a curved scythe hooked claw. This creature has these 2 little arms that are in front of it with claws on the end of them that have feathers that kind of jut out. Feathers kind of coat the mid part of their body and extend down their long tail. From tip of nose to tip of tail, these things are probably 15 feet altogether. They sit about, you assume would be Savannah's, like right under her shoulder if they were like standing next to you. You know these ones too. They're Deinonychus as they start to swarm, and as this one jumps, it hits a baby Triceratops, knocks it over, and then 2 more jump on and they start eating it. You do hear like sounds, predator roars, non-predator prey, is that what they're called? You hear those kind of sounds too, just echoing all around you, but immediately that's what you see. No smoke.
As they're hunting these, I guess hunting the Triceratops, but set off the Pachycephalosaur, I think Savannah's kind of like coasting that way, like almost like she's so intrigued by like this whole system in play that she's drifting that way, and like just starts like talking it through to Aximili, like that's Deinonychus, those are swift hunters, but it's kind of the modern day raptor is a evolutionary byproduct of a similar sort of set of like a similar area in the ecosystem, right? Like there's still that sort of large claw on your feet, and like even like her hawk has a remnant of having that big hunting claw. Like there is the way that the tendon is configured. That's something that echoes in what they have today and what they're doing. And so she's kind of giving all of that information to Aximili, especially as like they've had that conversation about like, if this is my shared delusion, then I don't know anything about dinosaurs. So I think that's kind of become her anchor into this is real because you wouldn't know that. Like, even though to her it doesn't make a difference, like that's her anchor point of like, okay, if I can keep telling you information, then this is a real thing and we haven't died yet, and this is not a shared delusion of death. So she's going to be telling them like, and then they're hunting like in a flock formation, and the ones that are running with the big dome heads, that's Pachycephalosaur, they don't actually think they headbutted. Like they thought that for years, but now we can see the bone structure was so thin that they don't think that that's true. And like what they're hunting are Triceratops. That's one of the most popular dinosaurs in kids' toys nowadays because we have toys of this, but like they look so much more like rhinos than I ever imagined. Like she's like kid in a candy store almost, but in a really weird way. And then like as she's like talking about like, look at how they're hunting that, look at how they latch on. It's just like the modern day way that they hold their prey with the 2 kind of big claws in there. Aximili, what if the others didn't make it?